Hey, mic check!
Mic check!
Mic check!
Mic check!
Mic check!
Mic check!
We have a 1%er that would like to speak with the people. If anyone has questions for this 1%er,
He will gladly answer them.
Okay, mic check.
Mic check!
I am
one of the 1%.
One of the 1%. I totally disagree with what you're doing. I have about 6 minutes before my cab picks me up.
About 6 minutes before my cab picks you up.
I'll be over there and we can have a discussion if you want to talk.
I'll be over there.
I'm a 1%er if anybody wants to talk to me.
So identify yourself.
I'm just ready to take anybody questions. If you have questions, I'm here.
Yeah, identify yourself. Somebody else's profit is more important than my children, is more important than my planet, is more important than my people.
I think that everybody should pay some sort of taxes based upon whatever income they have. So I think that the 53% that are paying taxes, maybe it should be higher, maybe it should be lower. But the other 47 that are paying nothing, they should pay a little bit. I think everybody that's working should pay a small amount.
Do you know anything about peak oil?
About peak oil? I have no idea. Let's hope it never happens.
Martin, why do you feel that you were in such disagreement with us? All of us would love to pay taxes if we had jobs, and the way the system worked was such that it was a system that was replenishing itself. It sounds like with what you did as a 1%er, you had some of those same feelings. So why do you feel you're in such disagreement with running a system that works?
Well, I actually had another full-time job where I was working 50 hours a week, and I started my business night and weekends, part-time, as I said, with $1,500. So I've started my business with basically nothing. What I'm saying is that I started my business with nothing. I'm not saying that you can or you can or you can, but some people here can. It can be done.
What is your feelings as a result of the TARP money that was $50 million that was given to the banks, and now we're finding that they're doing everything they can to not comply to what we expected them to do in regards to bringing us jobs, as well as starting up small businesses, as well as dealing with the foreclosures?
I think banks are a necessary evil, but we have to have them to put our money somewhere, and they clearly needed to be rescued. Frankly, I wish, hang on one second, frankly, I wish that the banks, in some cases, were nationalized like they just did in Belgium with Dexia. But you have to have a bank, people have to put their money somewhere.
Why do you think that you're in the 1%?
Well, because I am statistically.
We're empowering this guy who's giving us
printing the money to pay the interest to the Federal Reserve?
Who is printing the money to pay the Federal Reserve?
Who is paying the interest to the Federal Reserve? Because if there's no money other than the capital, then nobody can pay the interest. We are in perpetual debt.
You sound a lot like Ron Paul, a Republican who's running for governor, or for president.
Martin, my name is Ben. I have a question for you. One second. How are you going to feel if the policeman is going to come now and arrest you for what you're doing now? How are you going to feel about
Well, if I'm breaking the law, he ought to.
Can you answer my question?
I don't know how the Federal Reserve, if they're printing money or not, I don't know.
Perpetual debt. There is interest applied to every single dollar that is either printed or digitally counterfeited, and nobody is paying the interest. Nobody's creating interest.
Well, I agree with you that our country does have way too much debt. We either need to tax more, or cut the budget, or both.
How do you feel about this millionaire? How do you feel about this millionaires tax, where it doesn't even begin to the second million? Do you feel that's fair?
I think it's a diversion, because if you taxed Warren Buffett and Bill Gates and everybody in the Fortune 500 for their entire net worth, not just what they make, but their entire net worth, that would cover our budget for 6 months. So it is a diversion that people are taking you down a path. The solution is not just taxing these people. It may be partially it.
Partially.
Maybe. But the solution is to spend less. Yes.
My name's Eric. How do you feel about whether or not we should reinstate Glass-Steagall and rebuild the wall between financial banks and Main Street banks?
I think that Republican Phil Gramm and President Clinton both should not have gotten rid of Glass-Steagall. I agree with that.
Most people are tens of thousands of dollars in debt. How much less do you want us to spend?
Well, I think people shouldn't spend money if they can't pay it back. including our government.
Do you think it's possible to get elected without a large amount of money?
No, I think those people need a lot of money to reach people. There's no doubt.
Do you think that's fair?
I think it's a system. Any other questions?
Do you think it's fair that it takes money for our system?
Who would you rather see be the president, since you said that President Barack Obama should go? So, help me understand, as a black man, how you are saying that President Barack Obama has not kept his promise.
Okay, so let me answer your question, because there's a lot there. The question was, do I think Barack Obama should create jobs? I answered no, and I think he needs to go. With everything else that you said, half of it I believe that you're correct, half it's not. I actually am very happy that he has followed a lot of George Bush's policies when it comes to defense of our country.
But you're going to tell me that you don't like the fact? Are you going to tell me that you don't like the fact that he got Bin Laden?
You're playing.
No, that's why I'm saying I like what he's done in terms of defense of our country. Any other questions?
Do you think that there should be a cap on the payroll tax, or do you think that it should be unlimited as far as your income is concerned?
I've not researched it. I don't have an opinion on it one way or the other. Yeah.
Do you believe in social
government would be better if we didn't have outside money coming in for elections, for lobbying, and basically getting policy that you want passed?
No, I disagree. I think that individuals and corporations both should be able to give money to campaigns. Otherwise, there's no way that they can get their message out there. The costs are too high. Any other questions? They got about a minute. My taxi's waiting over there. What's your question?
When a CEO makes 475 times more than an individual, then it's not fair. That system doesn't work.
I don't know. Let me ask you a question. You got Bill Gates, Steve Jobs. They both have created. You asked a question. I didn't interrupt you. Let me finish. Bill Gates and Steve Jobs started small businesses and built their business to the point that hundreds of millions of people now benefit with their devices. Is it so wrong, hang on, is it so wrong that every one of those hundreds of millions of people, basically through the purchases of their item, go $1 or $3 to those people to make them wealthy? With all that they've done to move our economy, I'd vote no.
I just want you to go back. Who's the president you want elected?
Right now I'm leaning towards Herman Cain. Next question.
Yeah! Herman Cain!
Okay.
Pizza's for everyone.
Next.
The reason that it's unfair when a corporation can donate more money to a campaign than an individual person is corporations have private agendas. They can buy seats in the House, they can buy seats in the Senate, and they can put planet before profit.
Do you think, let me ask you a question, do you think George Soros has an agenda by himself as well?
I think that the people who spilled all the oil into the Gulf should be arrested for putting planet before profit.
You're not answering me my question. You're saying a corporation could do something because they have interest, but individuals can as well. So you didn't answer the question. She didn't answer the question. She made a statement. I'll pretend it was a question and answer it for you. I think that corporations and individuals should, so that they both can protect their interests, and in the public forum, people on both sides can have a debate.
You think corporations can protect their interests when they're ruining the planet?
I didn't say that. I said that. I think it's that's the conclusion that you're making. I'm saying that I believe that corporations should be allowed to make political donations.
Because so they can protect their private agenda, which is
they should be able to protect their private agenda to keep the economy going and create jobs.
Let me ask you a question. Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? Do you believe in freedom for the individual?
I do believe in freedom for the individual, and I think it's great that everybody here gets to come and make their statements and gets to make their protest. I think it's fantastic, and I really appreciate you allowing me to answer your questions. I'll take one more, and I've got to go.
Question.
This man's waiting. Go.
All right. Do you think that the industries should be allowed to regulate themselves the way they are doing and they have been for the past many decades, such as the food industry, regarding, let's say, food safety, Monsanto? Do you agree with the Monsanto lobbyists being appointed as the food safety czar?
I think that lobbyists appointed is a challenge in a lot of ways. I think that President Obama has appointed a lot of lobbyists in areas that really have provided a lot of cronyism as well in his administration, and I would be against that in a lot of different angles, not just food and drug, which has been around for a long time. Okay, hey, I thank you very much, and good luck. I hope you get fed well and sleep tight.
All right, thank you.
I don't know, do you want me back?
Yeah.
I'll be back Monday.
This man is a brave man, everyone.